So why did I do a clutch kit on the Squeaky Limo?
That really sucks.
Good morning guys, Foggy Dew here, and yes, I got some new tires and wheels for the Squeaky Limo. I went with a Maxxis Carnivore 30x10x14 all the way around, so essentially a squared setup. Now the wheel of choice is an STI HD9 beadlock aluminum wheel. They're 14x7s, so in comparison we have 14x6s stock on the front and 14x8s stock on the rear. So I'm going to be curious to see if I can maintain my stock stance or close to. That is obviously going to be my goal based on the fact that we are constantly crossing over tight bridges and a few things like that. I'm going to show you what the stock width is, front and rear, and then we're going to mount these up and I will show you what the width is with the new tires and wheels on. So, in saying all that, let's go. All right, stock setup 2022 RZR XP 1000 4-seater. All right, as you guys can see there, got the tape measure set up, and essentially it is literally sitting right on the edge of the outer portion of the tire. And we come over here, and essentially it is going to be sitting at basically 65 inches, or just shy. My camera's at a little bit of an angle here, but essentially 65 inches is what the fronts are sitting at. Now let's go have a look at the rear. Again, you can just barely make out the tape measure end right there, and we come over either 65.5 or 66 inches. So that is the stock front and rear width. Stock tires, stock wheels. Now we're going to transition over to the STI HD9 beadlock aluminum wheels on 30x10x14 Maxxis Carnivores. All right, folks, so some not so good news. The backs went on no problem, which I knew that wasn't going to be an issue at all. However, the fronts, I don't know if they made the brakes and or brake calipers or whatever, or this even the shield, just a little bit bigger. But as you guys can see, I'm not actually fully on, and I'm rubbing on the internal portion of the wheel. So that really sucks. Oh well. Anyways guys, on to plan B. It's gonna make the Squeaky Limo look absolutely sick, but again, that wasn't my intent. My intent was to stay narrow and basically stock width. Plan B is gonna push everything out much further. I'm gonna throw on the 1.5-inch wheel spacers. Stay tuned. And as you can see, we got just a little bit of space in there, which is exactly what we need in order for these to rotate. So that's gonna work. Again, not my initial plan. Anyways, I'll get the rest on and show you what they look like. Alright guys, there is a way to make this work without having to use the wheel spacers. All right, it's not something I'm a big fan of doing. I always hate taking off parts that really should be there. But if I wanted to run stock width with this tire and wheel setup, then I will have to do this. I'll tell you right now, I should have went with a 15-inch wheel, but I didn't. I got to work with the 14s, and so this is what you can do if you absolutely need to maintain that stock width. This is essentially, I mean, it's somewhat of a guard, but it's also kind of a heat sink to remove heat from your brakes. And saying that, I'm not out there ripping the dunes or anything like that. However, if you remove this, it will give you just the clearance you need in order to put on this wheel and tire setup. So, as you can see on the other side, I have taken that one off and everything fits in there just nicely. All right, wheel spins, no issues there. I'm gonna pop that guy off, and it's just a 5/16 to take these off. Pops right off. Now it gives you the clearance that you need. No rub and no scrub. That's always a good thing. Here, tiny clearance there. All right, guys, took her for a little rip just to scrub out the suspension there, and now she's sitting where she would normally sit. So let's go and have a look at the width now. Once again, tape measure is down just to the outer portion of the tire, and coming over here, and I'm gonna say, based on again standing over that tire, we're sitting right around about 67 inches, maybe 67 and a half. Hopefully you guys can see that there. As you guys can see, I have the tape measure right to the very edge of that tire. And over here, we are, if I'm looking down from the top, sitting basically at about 67 inches. Again, give or take a half inch. We're pretty much 67 all the way around at this point. So yeah, I think we were at 65 or 65 and a half up in the front end. So now we're at about 67 and a half. So even with the 6+1 offset, you are still actually going to be just a hair wider. In fact, probably close to 2 inches wider total. It is what it is. That's as close as I can get her to stock without just running stock tires. So I'm going to be running it this way for the next while. Please let me know in the comments below if that is something you would do. Would you feel comfortable with removing that heat shield from the brakes in order to run your tire and wheel setup? I don't like it, but at the end of the day, these the wheels do protect quite a bit of the braking system. So anyways, guys, I hope this was informative, and it was for me. Probably should have went with a 15-inch wheel. Didn't. Gonna have to put up with the 14s and do it just this way. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.